We will call the City Council meeting to order at 5 p.m. City Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Councilmember Gerson?
Present.
Councilmember Kaji is absent. Councilmember Kalani?
Present.
Councilmember Lewis?
Present.
Councilmember Matucci?
Here.
Councilmember Shake?
Present.
Mayor Chen?
Present. The council will now recess to closed session to confer with city manager and city attorney on agenda matters listed under 13A, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, 13B, real property, conference with real property negotiator, and 13C, conference with labor negotiator. A closed session on these matters is authorized by California Government Code Section 54956.9D1, 54956.8, 54957.6 will return after closed session. Thank you. We will now reconvene our city council meeting. I'd like to welcome everyone joining us in the council chamber, along with everyone watching remotely. City Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Councilmember Gerson,
Present.
Councilmember Kaji,
Here.
Councilmember Kalani,
Present.
Councilmember Lewis,
Present.
Councilmember Matucci,
Here.
Councilmember Sheikh,
Present.
Mayor Chen.
Present. We have been in closed session. Assistant City Manager, do we have any actions to report?
Good evening, Mayor. Danny Santana, City Manager's Office. There is nothing to report. Thank you.
Item 2, flag salute and invocation. We honor those who make it possible for us to be here today. If there is anyone in the audience who is on active duty or a military veteran, will you please stand or raise your hand so that we may recognize you? Please all rise and remain standing. Councilman Sheikh will lead us in the flag salute and Councilman Kalani in the invocation.
Thank you, Mayor. Everyone, please put your right hand on your heart and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come together in this council meeting with hearts full of gratitude for the opportunity to serve our community. Let us pause for a moment to remember those affected by the conflict in the Middle East. We pray for all victims and their families, for those who have lost loved ones, and for those who are living in fear. We ask that you bring comfort, strength, and hope to all of those in need, and that peace will soon prevail. We lift up those impacted by Hurricane Helene. As the efforts change from search to rescue, we pray for those missing, like Kim and many others. May they find comfort in knowing that they're in our thoughts and prayers. We pray for the communities who are preparing for Hurricane Milton. And lastly, let us keep the Chaparian family in our prayers as they celebrate the life of their dear Panos, who passed peacefully on the Lord's Day last Sunday. In all things, we ask for your blessings and guidance as we serve others with integrity, compassion, and respect. May we honor the trust that has been placed upon each of us. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you both. Item 3, I will take a motion to waive further reading of resolutions and ordinances after number and title.
Motion to waive further readings.
Second.
Start voting, please. Your Honor, that motion carried unanimously.
Thank you. Item 4, announcements of withdrawn, deferred, or supplemental items.
Thank you, Your Honor. Danny Santana, City Manager's Office. There are no deferred items. There are supplemental materials available on the city website, torranceca.gov, for the following. Item 7, oral communications. And item 10A, City Manager adopt categorical exemption under California Environmental Quality Act, Section 15301, approving a new lease agreement between the city and the Torrance Historical Society for city-owned building located at 1345 Post Avenue, and adopt a resolution determining portion of the certain city-owned property not required for city purposes, and that leasing the property is in the public interest. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item 5, council committee meetings and announcements. We'll start off with Councilwoman Kalani.
Thank you, Mayor. I ask that we adjourn tonight's meeting in memory of Alan M. Swartz, a remarkable individual with deep roots in Torrance, whose legacy of service and leadership has left a lasting impact on our community. Alan was the grandson of Sam Levy, one of Torrance's first businessmen and noted philanthropists, who owned the first department store in our city. Alan grew up here in Torrance, where he always maintained an office. his influence extended across the South Bay and beyond. He was a true Renaissance man, known for his involvement in the arts, education, civic affairs, and politics. He was the past president of the South Bay Association of Chambers of Commerce and was honored as the Torrance Chamber of Commerce's 60th anniversary Businessman of the Year. Allen also participated in the Department of Defense Joint Civilian Orientation Conference Association and played a critical role in helping retain the Los Angeles Air Force Base during the base closures of the 1990s, working alongside House member Jane Harmon. In the business world, Allen headed Asset Management Solutions, a company that managed and developed real estate and oversaw a diverse portfolio built upon the legacy of his esteemed grandfather. Allen led the Levy legacy into the second century, having been founded in 1919. He also had a distinguished 25-year career in the entertainment industry. He traveled the globe and made deals with broadcasting, cable, and satellite companies. He was also a talent agent at William Morris and ICM. He would appear in front of the camera, hosting a public affairs program for Time Warner Cable, and as a broadcaster for the New Zealand Broadcasting Company. Allen's commitment to the art and education was unwavering. He served as a trustee of the California Summer School of the Arts and held leadership roles with organizations like Tel Aviv University and the Moshe Dayan Institute of Middle Eastern and African Studies. His dedication to civil duty was further exemplified through his service as a trustee of Providence Little Company Mary Hospital, where his grandfather once chaired fundraising efforts to build the hospital. Allen was also a member of the Harbor UCLA Community Advisory Board of the Los Angeles Biomedical Research Institution. Allen leaves behind his son Adam and daughter-in-law Isabel, who are Torrance residents and actively loved in our community. Tonight we honor Mr. Swartz for his tremendous impact he made in Torrance and the greater region. His legacy of service, leadership, philanthropic activities will be long remembered. We extend our deepest condolences to his family and friends. Thank you.
Thank you. In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, our hearts go out to the thousands of families who are facing unimaginable hardship. Hundreds of lives have been lost, homes and businesses have been destroyed, infrastructure has been severely damaged, and entire communities have been uprooted. The road to recovery will be long and difficult, as power outages, flooding, and debris continue to pose significant challenges for emergency responders and residents alike. From the City of Torrance, we want to acknowledge the bravery of the first responders, relief workers, and volunteers who are tirelessly working around the clock to provide aid, shelter, and hope to those affected. We understand the emotional and physical toll of this disaster has taken, and we extend our deepest sympathies to those who have lost loved ones and to everyone who is enduring the immense stress of rebuilding their lives. For those in Florida that are about to encounter Hurricane Milton, when it's about to hit land, please evacuate if necessary, and we pray for all Floridians to stay safe. Next item is about the Great California Shakeout. Tonight, the City of Torrance recognizes the Great California Shakeout, the largest earthquake exercise in the world, taking place on Thursday, October 17th at 10:17 a.m. So it's very specific, 10:17, not 10:20 or 10:30, and not 10, 10:17. Earthquakes pose a significant and ongoing threat to our community, and the city is committed to fostering a culture of emergency preparedness, both within our organization and throughout the city. Proper planning and preparedness for earthquake-related disasters are critical to ensuring the safety and resilience of our community. Thank you to our Office of Emergency Services for the continued dedication and hard work in promoting and coordinating these vital preparedness. So remember, mark your calendar for Thursday, October 17th at 10:17 a.m. and be sure to drop, cover, and hold on. Thank you. I think I have a couple more, so hang in there with me. The State Legislative Advocacy Committee will meet tomorrow, Wednesday, October 9th, 2024 at 12 p.m. The meeting will be held in the Leroy J. Jackson Council Chambers. The purpose of the meeting is for the committee to receive an update from our consultant, Gonzalez and Son, on the 2024 state legislation session and consider position on the November 2025 general election ballot measures. The public is invited to attend and participate. Thank you. Next items, providing a little update with our Oshu Friendship City recap. I'd like to take a moment to reflect on the incredible week we had last week here in Torrance, hosting our new friends from City of Oshu, Japan, for the official signing of our 5th Friendship City Agreement. The week kicked off with a walking tour of the Torrance Civic Center, where they got to see firsthand the inner workings of our city. We also had the pleasure of hosting an economic development meeting, bringing together representatives from Discover Torrance, the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce, El Camino College's Small Business Development Center, the LA County Economic Development Corporation, the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, and the Japan External Trade Organization. This meeting was an excellent opportunity to discuss mutual benefits, including potential investments in agricultural products, semiconductors, energy generation, and the International Linear Collider, industries that Oshu specializes in. The formal signing ceremony at Torrance City Hall took place just 1 week ago today, where my colleagues and I welcomed Oshu Mayor Jun Koronari and his 10-member delegation. We are honored to have distinguished guests in attendance, including Consul General of Japan in Los Angeles, Kenko Sone, and Vice Consul General Fukiko Nakashima. This was a momentous occasion, not only for Torrance, but also for our corporate citizens and community partners who joined us in celebrating this new partnership. As part of their journey, they explored business opportunities by visiting several markets, major retailers, and manufacturers in the region, laying the groundwork for future trade between our cities. And in this special symbolic gesture, we celebrate the planting of 3 sakura trees at Torrance Park, generously sponsored by Ito N, a symbol of our growing friendship and our shared commitment to sustainability. Of course, we end the week with one more victory. Our Los Angeles Dodgers clinched a big win Saturday night. What a fitting way to cap off a fantastic week, especially with the city of Oshu being the hometown of Los Angeles superstar Shohei Ohtani. The Friendship City Agreement with Oshu marks the start of an exciting new chapter for both our cities. It represents not only the strengthening of cultural and economic ties, but also our shared vision of collaboration in education, innovation, and sports. We look forward to many more opportunities to grow together. Thank you to everyone who helped make this week a success, especially Fran Fulton, our Economic Development Manager, and all our city departments for your commitment and dedication. You truly exemplify the spirit of Team Torrance. Thank you all. Councilwoman Lewis.
Thank you, Mayor. October is National Arts and Humanities Month, and it is a month-long celebration recognizing the importance of culture in America. National Arts and Humanities Month is an opportunity to provide equitable access to the arts at the local, state, and national levels. It encourages individuals, organizations, and communities to participate in the arts and allows governments and businesses to show their support of the arts. National Arts and Humanities Month raises public awareness about the positive impact in the arts and humanities made in our communities and our lives. The Cultural Arts Commission will carry this message to the community at its 46th Annual Excellence in Arts Awards, as they recognize individuals in Torrance for their creative and cultural contributions. We invite the community to attend exhibitions and performances and take advantage of the myriad of opportunities to enjoy the arts in Torrance, thanks to local organizations like the Torrance Theater Company, the Torrance Art Museum, the Torrance Civic Chorale, Destination Art, Craftsman's Guild, Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation, or TOCA for short, Torrance Performing Arts Consortium, Aerospace Players, and more. Join us as we celebrate National Arts and Humanities Month throughout October.
Thank you. Next one is Councilman Gerson.
The City Council Community Planning and Design Committee will be meeting on Thursday, October 10th, 2024 at 5 p.m. The meeting will be held in the Leroy J. Jackson Council Chambers. The purpose of the meeting is for the committee to receive an update on new state legislation and community development updates on the land use and safety elements. The public is invited to attend and participate. Thank you.
All right. I believe the next one is also going to you.
Thank you. Good evening. As many of you may be aware, the legal protection for renters of homes and apartments are distinctly different from those for renters of mobile home spaces. Under California Assembly Bill 1482, the Tenant Protection Act of 2019, which went into effect on January 1st, 2020, annual rent increases are capped at 5%, plus the change in the Regional Consumer Price Index, CPI, or no more than 10%, whichever is lower. Unfortunately, these protections do not extend to manufactured homes, mobile homes, and trailer homes who rent lot spaces. Currently, there is no legislation in place to regulate or limit annual space rent increases for residents of mobile home parks in Torrance, many of whom are low income or in retirement or on fixed incomes. I've been informed that at least one mobile home park in Torrance has recently issued notices of substantial lot fee increases, which could create undue financial strain on these residents. I'd like to read 16 instances that I've received of recent increases into the public record. These are the actual copies of the actual letters. This first one is 11%. This one is for 12%. This one is for 12%. Another one for 12%. This one is for 13%. Another 13%. Another 13%. Another 13%. This one is for 14%. Here's another 14%. Another 14%, another 14%, another 14%. This one is actually 16%, and this is another one for 16%. And the last one here is for 18%. I was also, at the time you asked, I was trying to calculate another one. I have to double check this one, but a letter that was sent to us, or sent to me via electronic, looks like a 90-year-old might be receiving a 30% increase, so I'm going to have to look into that one. In light of this, I'd like to seek the City Council's concurrence to direct staff to prepare and bring back a space rent stabilization ordinance for mobile home parks. Ready for adoption and further consideration by this council, it is essential that we explore ways to provide fair protections for all residents in our city, particularly those who may be most vulnerable. May I have concurrence, please?
I have one question for you. Councilman Gerson, did you receive those letters, or those letters sent to all the council? I did not receive those letters.
No, this was in my district, and they've been provided to me directly from the residents to me. But you can, I'm sure, get a copy.
I think at this moment is the request for
I understand.
concurrence.
I was not sure if these letters were sent to all the council or not, so I'm getting clarification on that. So thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
May I ask another question before I vote?
Okay.
I know that the state has a measure coming up. Does anyone from staff know if that covers any portion of mobile homes? We don't know that.
Mayor, council members, Michelle Ramirez, Community Development Director. No, I do not believe it does.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, he's asking for concurrence, so we're not discussing the item. How many thumbs up do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. He received concurrence. Okay. Next item is Councilman Matucci.
Good evening. As the chair of the Transportation Committee, I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the outstanding efforts of our Torrance Transit Department in making safety their top priority. With the recent rise in incidents and assaults on public transportation across the region, it's important for the public and our passengers to know that the safety of both our patrons and employees is of the utmost importance to the Torrance Transit system. To address these concerns, our transit department has implemented extensive employee training and safety exercises, working closely with other city departments. Additionally, we are actively monitoring regional trends and remain in constant communication with transportation colleagues and law enforcement to stay ahead of any potential issues. While specific details of our safety measure cannot be shared to maintain the integrity of our operations, we want you to be assured that Torrance Transit is committed to remaining vigilant and doing everything within our power to enhance public and employee safety. Thank you.
Thank you. City Clerk Poirier.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ballots for the November 5th general election have been mailed out by the Los Angeles County Register Recorder County Clerk. Vote centers will open October 26th through November 4th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on Election Day, November 5th from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. For additional information, visit www.lavote.gov. The League of Women Voters will be hosting a pros and cons forum on the propositions and measures that are on the November 5th ballot this coming Thursday, October 10th at 5:30 in the library meeting room. This is free to the public. They will also be hosting a Torrance Unified School District Candidate Forum and District 66 Assembly Member on Friday, October 11th at 5:30 p.m. in the Toyota Meeting Hall. And again, this is free to everyone. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. I think the next item is, I'm going to ask the Social Service Commissioner Bickford. Will you please come to the podium? I think this is your announcement.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and members of City Council. My name is Debbie Bickford, and this is Bill Reynolds, and we are members of the Social Services Commission. The Social Services Commission would like to cordially invite our community's veterans to the city's annual Veterans Appreciation event. This year, the event is on Friday, November 8th from 10 to 1 p.m. The event takes place at the Toyota Meeting Hall, beginning with a resource fair at 10 a.m., where veterans will have an opportunity to learn about services offered through providers such as the Veterans Affairs LA Regional Office, Employment Development Department Veterans Division, Veterans Peer Access Network, and the Stephen A. Cohan Military Family Clinic. Just a little bit before noon, an appreciation luncheon with entertainment and open mic will be held. Each veteran may bring one guest to the event. Please RSVP your participation to the Torrance City Manager's Office by Friday, October 27th. You can call at 310-618-5880 or go online to socialservicescommission.org. at torranceca.gov. No spaces. And thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 6, community matters. Item 6A is a proclamation declaring October 6, 2024 through October 12, 2024 as Fire Prevention Week in the city of Torrance. I'd like to invite Torrance, actually, I'm going to read the proclamation first before I invite you to the podium. Councilman Gerson, will you start reading the first 2 paragraphs, and then we'll go to Councilman Kalani. Yeah.
The City of Torrance is committed to ensuring the safety and security of those having in and visiting Torrance. And house fires caused 2,720 civilian deaths in the United States in the year 2024, and fire department in the United States responded to 374,300 home fires. And
Whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally. Homes are where people are at greatest risk. Smoke alarms reduce the risk of death by providing an early warning signal, giving occupants time to evacuate during a fire. And
The men and women of the Torrance Fire Department are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire deaths and injuries through prevention and proper education. And
Torrance residents who are responsive to public education measures and install and maintain smoke detectors are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And
Whereas the 2024 Fire Prevention Week theme, Smoke Alarms, Make Them Work for You, actively serves as a reminder to take personal steps to increase our safety from fires within our homes.
Now, therefore, I, George Chen, as Mayor of the City of Torrance, California, do hereby proclaim October 6 to 12, 2024, as Fire Prevention Week in the City of Torrance, and I encourage all people of the community to be aware of their surroundings, seek ways to prevent home fires, and in the event of a fire or other emergency, be able to respond. When you hear the smoke alarm sounds, respond by exiting the building immediately and support the many public safety activities and the efforts of Torrance Fire and Emergency Medical Services during Fire Prevention Week. Signed this 8th day of October 2024. I'd like to invite Torrance Fire Prevention Specialist Daniel Singleton to join me at the podium to accept the proclamation and take a photo. I believe he's got some remarks to make. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Daniel Singleton, Fire Prevention Specialist. October 6th through October 12th is National Fire Prevention Week, a time dedicated to raising awareness about fire safety in our community. This year's theme focuses on the importance of smoke alarms and ensuring they are in good working condition within your home. The Torrance Fire Department encourages all residents to install smoke alarms in every bedroom, outside each separate sleeping area, and on each level of their home. It is crucial to test smoke alarms monthly and replace batteries when you hear the single chirp every 30 to 60 seconds, as this is a signal that the battery is low or the alarm is nearing the end of its lifespan. Additionally, carbon monoxide alarms should be installed, tested, and replaced following the same guidelines as smoke alarms to ensure safety. If residents have any questions about smoke alarms or carbon monoxide alarms, please contact our Community Risk Reduction Division for more information. Thank you for your time.
All right, here's your proclamation. Moving on to item 6B. On behalf of my colleagues on the Torrance City Council, it is my privilege to recognize 4 exemplary South High students who developed community outreach programs for the Torrance community. Alexis Choi, Kaylin Kang, Maggie Gerlach, Hannah Lee. At this time, I would like to call the students to the podium to receive your awards. So you can join me, maybe 2 of you on this side and 2 of you on this side. And I will, just come over here. Yeah, I won't bite, I promise. All right. Over the past 4 years, students from South High met with community service staff and presented their projects to earn the California State Seal of Civic Engagement. Last December, South High students Alexis Choi and Kaylin Kang presented community service staff with an idea of creating little free libraries in Torrance parks. They called the project My Little Library. Alexis and Kaylin gave a presentation to the Library Commission describing how small library boxes filled with donated books would be identified by filled little books could be located close to children's play areas in the city's most popular parks as identified by the students. The commission was supportive of the proposal. Alexis and Kaylin then gave their presentation to the Parks and Recreation Commission, who were fully supportive. As of today, 8 free little libraries have been installed in Torrance parks. Alexis and Kaylin's dedicated work on this project highlighted their genuine desire to positively impact and support their community. Alexis and Kaylin, please accept these certificates as well as our sincere gratitude for your civil engagement and dedication to enriching Torrance community. Okay. We'll take the photo soon. In April, the Parks and Recreation Commission approved a proposal from South High students Maggie Gerlach and Hannah Lee to research and seek community input regarding the replacement of playground equipment at Alta Loma Park. Maggie and Hannah initiated contact with the surrounding community to solicit feedback on the replacement of the playground equipment and what amenities the community would like to see in the replacement project. Surveys and QR codes were delivered door to door and posted in the park, allowing the local community to take the survey. After several months, Maggie and Hannah completed their research and presented the report to the commission. Maggie and Hannah's dedicated work on this project highlighted their unwavering dedication to making a positive impact in Torrance and making parks accessible to everyone. Maggie and Hannah, please accept this certificate, as well as our sincere gratitude for your civil engagement and valuable contribution to the city of Torrance. Now, I'm going to ask the entire council to come to the podium and join me so we could take a collective group picture. Ms. LaRock, you want to join us since it came? I want you to join us as well. So I'm going to do this. I believe this is Maggie. What's around them? Okay, we'll even it out. 3 on this side, 3 on this side. And Ms. LaRock, please join us. Please join us. Okay, we'll get closer. Oh, there's more. Hang on. Oh, come back. Veer right. Okay. Veer left. Oh. Got it? All right. Okay, we got them all. Congratulations again. Congratulations. And congratulate some friends and family all here supporting them. Moving on to oral communications number 1. This portion of the meeting is reserved for comments on items under the consent calendar or items that are not on the agenda. Under the Ralph M. Brown Act, City Council cannot act on items raised during public comment, but may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed, request clarification, or refer the item to staff. Speakers under orals are limited to oral communication number 1 or oral communication number 2, and no more than 1 minute per speaker. Time starts when you step up to the microphone. If presenting handout material to council, please provide 11 copies to the city clerk before speaking. Handouts will be distributed while you speak. City clerk, will you start off with those who submitted your names?
Yes, Your Honor. Carol Gillis.
It's 7:18.
Hi, Carol Gillis with the Torrance Rose Float Association, your Torrance Rose Float Association. You know, on January 1st, we actually participate with the Pasadena Rose Parade. And with the help of the City of Torrance, we actually fund and make a float. Now, our float is being made this year at AES, which is right near the Rose Bowl, and we'll get rides up there, and people will be able to decorate the float. And that's what I'm here. I'm here to remind you that we need volunteers to decorate the float. Our first meeting is going to be next Thursday, October 17th at 7 p.m. at the Garden Room, which is located between the Armstrong and the Nakano over in the City Hall, in the, over there. Sorry. And we look forward to having you all. You need to be a member. We'll see you then.
All right. It'll be in the Cultural Arts Center there.
Charlie Salinas.
Good evening, everyone. I'm still researching pickleball locations. There's been an eyesore property going on 4 years now at Crenshaw and Torrance Boulevard. Could be indoor pickleball courts if somebody could make a deal. The other thing is, while you're changing the city charter, would you consider making our city name Torrance Beach, California? I don't know why we got left out with all the other beach towns. And again, I'd like to thank all of you up there for doing the job you do, even knowing that people want to use you for a punching bag because they can get away with it. I am so sorry that happens.
Lila Barrett.
Is there a Lila Barrett? If not, we'll go on to the next person.
Mark Van Klooster.
I'm going to defer my comments until the next 2 weeks. Thank you.
Linda Mack.
Hi, on behalf of the 93-year-old lady that I am representing here tonight, I will defer my comments for 2 weeks. Thank you.
Brandy Keith.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. I'm Brandy Keith with the South Coast Air Quality Management District. I just wanted to share a little news from our agency with the Torrance public. We have a residential lawn and garden program, which up until just recently would offer rebates to residents wanting to upgrade their gas-powered lawnmowers to an electric model. We have recently expanded that existing rebate program to also include zero-emission equipment such as battery electric leaf blowers, edgers, trimmers, and chainsaws. So you can now apply for a rebate of up to $250 for that type of equipment. And I also wanted to let everyone know we do have a community meeting. This will be tomorrow night at 6 p.m. in Linwood. This is regarding our Rule 1180 fence.
Ma'am, your time is up. Got it. We got the flyer too. Thank you.
Mary Jo Baratic.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Mary Jo Baratic. It's time for Torrance to once more seriously consider adopting a mobile home resident stabilization ordinance. People are struggling to keep their homes that they have and spent their life savings, and many people do have mortgages. Even with the RSO in place, their homes they have spent their life savings on, many still have mortgages that they have to pay. The GSMO corporate attorney is the expert on rent stabilization ordinances in the state and is willing to assist you in the wording of your RSO. Even with, the most effective methods of establishing RSO is for the City Council to vote for preparation of the ordinance, then pass a moratorium to cover the time when the ordinance is written and going through the process for a final. Thank you.
Susan Niemeyer.
Hello, I'm here to once again talk about ballot measure TC and the deception that's involved in that, involving the proposed compensation for the mayor and the council members. And this is going to be tied to minimum wage at the maximum number of hours that you can imagine. And if Prop 32 passes, we'll actually have $18 per hour. So each of you would be paid $37,440 per year in compensation. That's a huge increase. And where is it going to come out of? It's going to come out of taxpayer money. You say that there's no new taxes, but as Councilmember Matucci pointed out on Facebook recently, there's no such thing as government funded. It's all taxpayer funded. We did not vote for for ballot measure SST to compensate all of you very generously on the council. Thank you.
Deb Osborne.
Hi, I'm from Skyline Mobile Home Park, and we're very happy that you've all agreed to a concurrence, and we will be back in 2 weeks to discuss the specifics of what's happening at Skyline Mobile Home Park. Thank you.
Anthony Valentino.
Mayor, council members, thank you very much for your time. I'm a father, a new resident in District 5. I just have a couple questions that I'd like to raise awareness of and just maybe seek guidance from. We've had an increase in traffic in that neighborhood, particularly from the recent development on PCH and PV. It's a large community that's going in, and it's sending a lot of cars speeding up and around the area. As you can see, I'm a soccer coach. I'm sorry, I just raced here, and my kids like to play soccer in the neighborhood, and sometimes they chase their balls out into the street. You can imagine what somebody hurrying up and down a street can do. So one of the questions is relative to traffic, what can I do as a resident to be able to help improve the neighborhood? The second is on crime. Having grown up in and around this community and seeing the crime increase rather seemingly a lot in District 5, more so than I've seen before in the past, what can we do as residents beyond just neighborhood programs and such? Would just love to see guidance on that. In any case, thank you very much for your time.
Kent Allen.
Hello, my name's Kent Allen. I'm a lifelong resident of the South Bay, currently living in Hermosa Beach for the last 30 years. I grew up Manhattan Beach, and I spent many years right over here at this refinery as a refinery engineer in the fluid catalytic cracker making gasoline for you people, all right? I'm very proud of that. Tonight, I'm very proud to lend my support to George Barks, who will be speaking probably after me, who is running for the 66th Assembly District, hopefully to beat the current member of that, Al Maritucci, who I kind of call no action Maritucci. He doesn't show up half the time, and if he has an important vote, he votes present. I don't think anybody would disagree that California needs a new direction. Now, I can tell you one thing, your gas prices are going up, and I'm voting for George Barks for 66th Assembly District.
George Barks.
Good evening, Mayor Chen and members of the City Council and city staff, the residents here in the council chambers and the residents watching on television. I'm George Barks, former mayor and councilman in the city of Hermosa Beach. So I know city issues very well. I think there is time for change in Sacramento. I want to do my part to bring balance. I've spoken with Mr. Al Maritucci, and he says we need balance in Sacramento. And I would like the voters to go on to my website, and I do have a packet of information for all the council members here, and reach out to me. And we just need better representation. And I think I am the person that can do it. And please vote for George Barks. Thank you.
Looks like we've exhausted those who submitted comment cards. We still have some time left, so I can see someone. Go ahead, come up to the mic. You got 1 minute as soon as you step up there.
Okay. Greetings, Mayor Chen and City Council members. I am pleased to welcome you to the opening reception for Immediate Res Expanded and Jet Pascua Rears on Arrival at the museum, Torrance Art Museum, on Saturday, October 12th from 6 to 9 p.m. In the main gallery, Femibit X Super Collider Gallery's exhibit, Immediate Res Expanded, reflects today's digital uprootedness from time-based narratives of the silver screen to invoke belonging. Gallery 2 features Jet Pascua Rears on Arrival. The Filipino-Norwegian solo show displays key pieces from 3 decades of work that mines the depths of life of the Filipino diaspora. If you want a taste of experimental music, check out Saturday Sound Series event at noon on October 19th at the museum. The event is free, but no one will be upset if you leave a donation. For more information about the museum and its projects, visit torranceartmuseum.com. To support the museum, become a member and view Tema Talks, visit temadvocates.com. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. We have time for 3 more. Yeah, 3 more.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Doug Moppin. I'm a developer in Torrance. And I'm just here to say that I really appreciate the staff, the city, and the direction you're going in when it comes to housing. And I've listened to housing issues tonight about exorbitant rents. And one of the solutions to that, of course, is to create some additional housing. And there's some excellent opportunities coming up in Torrance to create some more rental housing, for sale housing, and include some low-income housing as well. So I look forward to working with the staff, the Planning Commission, and the council in the future. And it's a privilege to be able to work in Torrance. It's a great city. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, we have 2 more.
Could we have 3 more? There's one person who really wants
No.
to speak. And I did turn in I turned in 2 cards.
Your clock
the
is
way.
going. Go ahead.
Oh, thanks. Civilian oversight panels are intended to give voice to community members and enhance transparency and accountability through an independent review and investigation of excessive force cases, public complaints of police misconduct. It builds trust through accountability and transparency, and it can be called a citizen oversight committee or a civilian oversight committee. Why not do it? Yesterday was October 7th, on which we memorialized those who lost their lives in Israel and the soldiers who also lost their lives. But we also memorialize those who lost their lives in Lebanon. Well, also Lebanon, but in Gaza. Thousands and thousands, tens of thousands. We have orphans now. We have kids who have had to have surgery.
Your time is up, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, this is the last person. Thank you.
Create an independent civilian oversight commission, right? We don't need to do this here. When people have an issue with police, or God forbid they're killed, or we have swastika problems, or we have embarrassing emails and texts and things that are released, there should be a place that's not this room that we're dealing with that. Where a place where people can report their concern and their issue to the police, not to the police, which is like crazy talk. I can't understand that. Why you would report to your perpetrator. Having a separate place, it's just really simple, it's free, and it would do a lot to quell the community doubt about Torrance. So, and the last.
Thank you. Moving on to the consent calendar, do any members of the council wish to pull any item listed in the consent calendar?
Your Honor, Danny Santana, City
Yes.
Manager's Office. If I could quickly just add a note of clarification.
Okay.
Staff will return as quickly as we can with to fulfill the council's concurrence to Councilman Gerson's oral request. But it is an ordinance item that requires a public posting and notification before it could be presented. In order to comply with that requirement, it will likely require it to be at a subsequent meeting. Staff will make every effort to ensure that we bring it back as soon as possible, but it likely will not be in 2 weeks. Likely it'll be the October 29th or the first opportunity in November, as we want to make sure that City Attorney's Office also has an opportunity to review the draft, considering that it has now been stale for over 12 months.
Thank you. I understand that. I didn't know why 2 weeks were being thrown out, but I understand it's going to come back. Okay, thank you for the clarification. Let's go, where was I? Do any members wish to pull any items from the consent calendar? I don't see anyone clicked in, so I'll take a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Motion to approve the consent calendar.
I second the motion.
Start voting, please. Your Honor, that motion carried with Councilmember Kaji absent.
Just missed the vote. We still passed it. All right. Moving on to there are no hearings. For those in the audience who keeps track of our council meetings closely, starting today, we changed some of the orders and how we do the agenda. So you will note that after consent calendar, we're going to go straight in the future into public hearings. So public hearings used to be in the, item 10. In the future, starting today, it's item 9. So that a lot of time the public hearings, I keep pulling them up early anyway, so that it happens at earlier time. So there are no public hearings today, so we're moving on to item 10, which is now the administrative items. Just want to make sure those who read the agenda items will track with us. Simple thing, public hearings are occurring right after consent calendar, because we think most of the people, most of the time, are here to, to listen to the public hearing a little bit earlier. Moving on to administrative matters, item 10A from the city manager. Is there a staff presentation?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the City Council, Carlos Weezer, Management Associate with the City Manager's Office. Tonight's item is a recommendation of the City Manager that City Council, 1, adopt a California Environmental Quality Act CEQA categorical exemption pursuant to Guideline Section 15301 existing facilities, approving a new lease agreement between the city and Torrance Historical Society for a city-owned building located at 1345 Post Avenue for an initial term of 20 years. which would commence October 15th, 2024, and then ending on October 14th, 2044. And then adopting a resolution determining that portion of city-owned property that's located at 1345 Post Avenue is not required for city purposes, and that leasing the property is in the best of public interest. Tonight, we do have the privilege of having representatives from the Torrance Historical Society here present. The Torrance Historical Society has been a huge part of our community since their establishment in 1973. When the opportunity came about, when we had established a Civic Center library here, our original city library, which was located at this property, was originally constructed in 1936 and essentially no longer served its intended purpose. The Historical Society, with partnership of the city, established a month-to-month agreement to occupy the building to serve it as a city historical museum. And they've transformed the space into community programming that includes extensive historical exhibits, walking tours, and then working with the city and local partners on year-round community events. Because of their contribution and the historical significance of this building, the city and the Torrance Historical Society finds it best to memorialize this agreement through a long-term ground lease. The ground lease essentially is for an initial term of 20 years, and then essentially the lease rate is essentially $1 a year or an upfront $20 that would cover for the initial term. As part of the commitment to maintaining the building as a public asset, the Torrance Historical Society has negotiated with the city to continue to work on increasing the number of public hours to 20 hours a week. That's essentially written into the lease agreement. Because this is a city asset, we do have to make the findings essentially through an adoption of a resolution to determine that the property or portion of this property is no longer needed for city purposes, and that it's in the best of public interest to lease the building to the Torrance Historical Society, as they will continue to provide a community benefit. At this time, I would like to invite members of the Torrance Historical Society to share a few remarks as we continue our partnership in bringing future use as well as education, historical education, to the city of Torrance.
Oh, thank you so much. I think you said a great deal of what I might have said. Honorable Mayor, councilmen, women, council people. I'm representing the Torrance Historical Society. I am the current president, Michelle Polcari. I have been the president for the past 6-7 years, and hopefully my reign will be up this next year. But I feel that that has given me a good flavor for what the Historical Society does for the city of Torrance. Prior to that, I knew there was a museum. I knew there was probably a board that somehow oversaw the museum, but I had no idea that it was 100% volunteer. We're talking volunteers that spend countless hours. We're not talking about doors open hours, countless hours serving the community, the neighborhood, the city in lots of their endeavors. I have a list of items that will take 100 days to get through, but I'm going to go through some of the things that just kind of make you understand how serious we are about preserving the history for our residents and our future residents. We have recently applied to 2 COVID grants, received the money, and used the money to help upgrade the necessities of the museum for the volunteers, i.e. Helping us become ergonomic with our seating for our volunteers, our stanchions, so that we can be safe for the public, and things like that. We've also recently applied to and received a $15,000 grant from the State of California Library System, which shows that not only do we take ourselves seriously, they take us seriously. They gave us this money to help us with disaster recovery and also to maintain the integrity of our archives. And one of the reasons why they gave it to us is because we have 2 very distinct collections at our museum. that no one else in the state of California or in the entire country has. And that's our Zamperini collection, which is a fallen hero, someone who has helped us through thick and thin. We also have a rose float collection of different photos and awards that no one else has, and it goes back to our roots. The first float was entered because Jared Sidney Torrance, the founder of our city, was on the Hunt Club. So we have funding that we're doing some amazing things with. We've upgraded our archive room lighting. We've got the updated office equipment. We are very close to launching a new website that will be ADA compliant. We have new exterior lighting. Thank you, City of Torrance. And partially part of our donation towards that. We have made the outside a lot safer by removing some poles that people could trip on. We are looking at interior boards being redesigned and upgraded. We have volunteers that have painted them. Extremely serious about making everything disaster recovery safe. We're using some of that money to put in a monitoring system so that we can be taken seriously by other museums, maybe traveling art exhibits, traveling historical exhibits. They will come to the City of Torrance if we can tell them that their collection is safe, that we can monitor the air, and so we're putting in that system. We're very serious about that. We're going to put in additional smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, humidifier controls, and things like that. So extremely, extremely serious. And like I said, seems like the state of California takes us that way too. But just to go on really quickly, we have supported pretty much all city activities that we have been asked to partner with. We support and have been partnering with other nonprofits, the Women's Club, Torrance Community Credit Union, the Downtown Torrance Business Association, Discover Torrance, the Rose Float Association, Old Torrance Neighborhood Association. We've worked with the Chamber, with Leadership Torrance. We have countless school visits throughout the year, so we're helping to educate our students as well. And of course, we have programs like the Names on the Wall, where we do research to continue to help enhance the wall and support our veterans. So I could go on forever. Like I said, everybody that comes to Torrance wants to know about it. All of the new businesses, Miyako Hotel, we've added, Wells Fargo Bank has come to us for photos. We've put them on their walls. Ganal Lumber, the Chamber is asking us to help with some events. Torrance Memorial Medical Center, their anniversary event. So we feel, we may be asking to occupy a building for a limited lease payment, but we give back in so much more. You can't put a price on history. You just can't. So we thank you for considering it, and we hope we'll be here for a really long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, and the Torrance Historical Society for all you do for City of Torrance. I was just afraid that you were going to give us a whole history back to 1912. We'll be here till tomorrow, but thank you. We will take a... Right now, are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this item?
Hi, this is Andy Porchap. Nice presentation from this lady. She forgot to mention that Torrance Historical Society has one thing that might not have other historical societies, and that is the swastika Nazi flag. People were upset when the Historical Society displayed the swastika Nazi flag in the Zamperini field lobby. People were disgusted, and that went with Zamperini's history, that Zamperini was a thief, Zamperini stole the swastika, and then, oh yeah, the Germans gave it to him because, they did not shot him in the head. You tried to steal a flag. Anyway, so, and they don't display it right now because the police painted swastikas in people's car. Congratulations.
Your time is up, sir. Anyone else who wishes to speak on this item?
Thank you. I think Michelle said about everything she could in a short amount of time. I would like to clarify something that the past speaker brought up. If you read the book that Laura Hillenbrand wrote called Unbroken, or Lewis's book himself about his time in the military and his experiences in the camps, Lewis himself did bring home a swastika flag. And there's a long story that goes with that. That does not belong to us. It is not in our museum. It is not displayed anywhere. It belongs to the Louis Zamperini Trust Collection, and that belongs to the family. So just to clarify that, there is a good story about it, and I wanted to set the record straight on that particular item. And I appreciate the opportunity to do that. Unfortunately, I hope it doesn't cloud any of the other good things that are being requested and spoken about tonight. Thank you so much.
Sir, you cannot speak over, please. Anyone else from the public who wishes to speak on this item?
I think I just want to say one more thing on that topic. The Torrance Historical Society
okay.
is dedicated to preserving.
Michelle, I was just reminded you can't speak twice on this item.
Oh, I'm
Thank you.
sorry.
Got it.
I wanted to answer him.
Okay. You could speak 1 minute on this item, sir.
Okay.
But it's
I
got to
can't-
be on this
I
item.
can't defer my time to her? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I usually attend the day before Veterans Day. Veterans of all generations are invited over to the Historical Society to share their experiences in war or in military service with the public, but especially the students that come, because especially my generation of Vietnam, we feel that our service is swept under the carpet. And we have an opportunity at the Historical Society to tell these high school students and even younger the truth about the war experiences that we had, regardless of what they're taught in school. And I thank the Historical Society for this opportunity because there aren't too many places we can speak about this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public who wishes to speak on this item? I don't see any. Do I have any comments or questions from the council? It looks like Councilwoman Kalani.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of comments. I just want to sincerely thank the Historical Society for all the work they do. It takes so much time and effort to keep the museum in its condition. And the museum's a gem. It's a gem in our city, and I don't think too many cities can say they have something like that. So my sincerest thank yous.
Thank you. Councilman Shea.
Thank you, Mayor. I also like to thank you, all the Torrance historical members, for all the good work that you do. You do a lot of things with the, all of you are volunteers. You are the heroes. For you to go above and beyond to spread the word about Torrance, about the history of Torrance, and bring more attraction and tell what certain areas mean, that's very critical. That's very important for generations and for us to understand. And thank you for sharing all your thoughts on this. And I want to commend and thank you for all what you do. Thanks. Thanks, Mayor.
All right. I don't see anyone clicking in. I think at this moment I have to ask the city clerk for a number and title, please.
Your Honor, this is resolution number 2024-79. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Torrance, California, determining that a portion of certain city-owned property located at 1345 Post Avenue is not required for city purposes, and that leasing the property is in the public interest.
Thank you very much. Motion to adopt the CEQA categorical exemption approve a new lease agreement for 1345 Post, and adopt a resolution determining the portion of the city-owned property is not required for city purposes, and that leasing the property is in the best public interest.
I second all three.
Start voting, please. Your Honor, that motion carried unanimously.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Torrance Historical Society and all volunteers. Before I go on to the next item, can I ask a staff member to get the contact information of the resident over there who asked for help? This way, at least. Oh, they already did? Got it. Okay. I just want to make sure. I didn't want you to leave before we got your contact information. Thank you, Chief. Now we're on item 10B. From the city manager, is there a staff presentation?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. Sarah Shore, Management Aide with the City Manager's Office. Item 10B is a recommendation of the City Manager that City Council declare the following Tuesdays as City Council Dark Nights from January 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2025. January 7th, January 21st, February 4th, February 18th, March 4th, March 18th, April 1st, April 15th, April 29th, May 13th, May 27th, June 10th, and June 24th. Following the posting of this agenda, staff was made aware of a potential conflict with the National League of Cities Conference, which is set to occur from March 10th to March 12th, 2025. Staff's original recommendation would mean that Tuesday, March 11th would be the date of a council meeting conflicting with the conference. Staff awaits your honorable body's direction on this conflict. Additionally, please note that these dates, if approved tonight, can be modified by your honorable body on a future item. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any members of the public wish to speak on this item?
This is Andy Porcia, turn on the mic. So anyway, 5 years ago when I started to come here, it was every week. Now it's every 2 weeks. And you are right. What the hell for these public meetings for? You know, you give us 1 minute like, you know, we are some kind of stupid animals. Your bodies can go up there and talk 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Anyway, you guys just can stay home or hang out with your body. We don't need, maybe once every colder year, you know, once every 3 months. You know what I mean? Save on electricity, save your time, be with your family, or relax. You know, I mean, you don't do nothing here but vote yes for the city manager's thing, you know. So, I don't know, Goober, if you noticed that these people leasing that thing for $1 a year, and the taxpayer paying for the upkeep, water, electricity.
Your time is up, sir. As a matter of fact, for the public who don't know, I believe we're meeting 4 times this month, correct? All right. Anyone else from the public wish to speak on this item? Or if not, I'll bring it up to the council. Councilwoman Kalani.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for bringing up the fact that we met 4 times this month. I appreciate that. And thank you to all the council members and staff for all the extra work you put in each and every day. Just wanted to clarify that as we did this month, as needed, we'll have additional council meetings.
Your Honor, Councilmember Kalani, Danny Santana, City Manager's Office. Yes, the mayor and council can direct staff and call a meeting at any point as long as we provide sufficient notice. And as recently established by mayor and council, that 3rd or potentially 4th council meeting as needed over the course of the month have been very effective at helping us keep these meeting time frames manageable. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the public is aware, even though we've been meeting roughly 2 times a month, the priority is we're addressing all items that we previously addressed even when we were meeting every week. So the key thing is all of the business is being addressed, and we're able to do it effectively, meeting roughly twice a month, and whenever we need to, like this month, every week. So I just want to make sure I clarify that since I brought up the NLC, so my recommendation is to make March 4th not a dark night, a council meeting night, and to make March 11th a dark night. This way, if any members of the council wish to attend the National League of Cities, we don't have this little pickle if we're going to be missing a council meeting night. So the total number in this table don't change, but just change March 4th to March 11th. So, anyone else from the council who has any comment on this item? If not, okay, looks like we're ready. I'll take a motion to concur with the recommendation with the change to March 11th as dark as opposed to March 4th.
Seconded.
Start voting, please. Your Honor, that motion carried unanimously.
Thank you. See, we can keep this rolling. Item 10C from the Public Works Director. Is there a staff presentation?
Good evening, Stephanie Holst, Public Works Department. Item 10C is a recommendation that council appropriate $1,242,583.10 from the Water Enterprise Fund to the North Torrance Wellfield project and approve a contract services agreement with Pacific Hydrotech Corporation for a total not to exceed amount of $1,242,583.10 to provide design, permitting, procurement, and construction services to install a permanent hydrogen sulfide gas scrubber system at the North Torrance Wellfield. Construction of the North Torrance Wellfield was completed in April 2023. During the testing phase, the city received reports of odors from the water, so as a precaution, ceased distribution of water from the facility. Testing revealed detectable but harmless levels of hydrogen sulfide gas in the airspace above the water at the top of the storage tank. The project design did not include a gas scrubber. However, the design planned for connections to a gas scrubber should one be needed. Following testing and analysis performed by Pacific Hydrotech, a temporary gas scrubber unit was rented and has been determined to effectively remove the hydrogen sulfide gas. This contract would replace the rental unit with a permanent one, and work would be sequenced such that the temporary unit will remain in place to allow the North Torrance Wellfield facility to continue operating during construction. For every month the facility operates, the city saves approximately $200,000 by not having to purchase water from the Metropolitan Water District.
Thank you. Does any member of the public who wish to speak on this item?
I live in Torrance 33 years or so, and when I moved in, we had pretty good water. And used to get pamphlets, you know, the water quality and everything. But lately, I don't think that water is so good, you know. So I hope whatever you're doing, it helps the quality of water because, you know, I'm drinking water lately, you know, so I used to drink beer and, you know, vodka and stuff like that with Coca-Cola. So I'm drinking lots of water lately, and it doesn't taste as it used to could, you know? I mean, I don't know if you drink water and how you like it, but I don't, you know? So make sure they treat that water right because, you know, I cannot drink vodka anymore, you know? I had to give it up, so clean water, please.
Anyone else from the public who wishes to speak on this item?
I'm just a simpleton. What I want to find out is who should I go to during the week to take away from their job to show me a picture of said old scrubber and new scrubber. See, this is where doing it this way is very stupid. And I really would like to know who approved it, who brought it up, who voted on it, because this is wrong. I want to hear what this says first before I have a question. Why are there no pictures? Who am I supposed to, which person? Is it this young lady over here? I don't know. How many council members should I pull off of their jobs or whatever y'all do to get answers during the week? Who's going to do it? And how many of us should do that?
Okay, your time is up, ma'am. Thank you. Maybe we could consider after you read the staff reports, and if you have questions, you can always call the city or you could email us. Before this moment in time at the meeting, I already heard you. I heard you. Send your question in. We'll see how long it takes. I guess it depends on the severity of how much work we need to do to respond. But give us a try. Well, okay. I already shared what it's going to take much longer. We'll be here all night doing this. Anyone else from the public wish to speak on this item? Right. We'll bring it up to here. Councilwoman Kalani.
Thank you. I wanted to thank staff for answering my questions earlier today. I had one one additional question that I didn't ask, and I left a message. I got a call back. We didn't speak. On page 2 of the presentation, there was the discussion of the permit expiring in November 2024 for the old scrubber and the new scrubber not being in place and operational till summer of 2025. So I was just curious about the gap.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So the current scope that we're proposing here in this contract will include both applying for a renewal or a new permit to continue operating the rental unit, and then there will be a new permit, of course, for the permanent unit once it's installed. You're welcome.
Anyone else from the council? If not, I'll take a motion to concur with the recommendation of the Public Works Director. Looks like there's no other thing I need from the city clerk.
I just have a comment. Sorry, Mayor. Sorry, I clicked just now. I didn't do. I tend to agree with the public on this, that we need to discuss among our first, and then we should bring it back to the public. It's give them more opportunity to understand what the issue is and what kind of questions we have and the responses from our questions. So I would like you to consider that. That makes, for me, it makes more sense. I just want to ask you to reconsider that. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Councilwoman Kalani, I think you made a motion. I wasn't sure.
Yes. Should I go ahead?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Motion to adopt or approve the appropriation of the funds and the contract services for the new scrubber.
Second.
Start voting, please. Your Honor, that motion carried unanimously.
Thank you. There are no agency agendas. Moving on to oral communications number 2. This portion of the meeting is reserved for comments on items not on the agenda. Under the Ralph and Brown Act, City Council cannot act on items raised during public comment, but may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed, request clarification, or refer the item to staff. Speaker and oral communications are limited to oral communication number 1 or oral communication number 2, and no longer than 1 minute per speaker. Time starts when you step up to the microphone. If presenting handout material to the council, please provide 11 copies to the city clerk before speaking. Handouts will be distributed while you speak. Do we have anyone from the public who have not spoken under oral communications number 1 wish to speak now? Thank you. Go ahead. Thank you, sir. You can.
Good evening. My name is Luke Moscow. I'm president of the Black Sheep RC for El Nido RC track. It has been more than a year since we got the approval from you, and we are so grateful to have the track here in the city of Torrance. Our organization and many community members have contributed thousands of dollars to making of this track. As of now, we are currently hamstrung over a nonpartisan border dispute. A border dispute, nonetheless, Our original plan was never submitted to you, and we were told after a year that we can have the city council review the proposed layout. We would love your support in making this happen. On behalf of everybody in the community in support of this project, we thank you for your time and your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else from the public who wish to speak?
Yeah, this is Andy Porchop again. I was a little bit surprised that Goober, you did not stop those people who were campaigning here on the city civic center grounds and in the Torrance City Chamber, because they were mentioning who they vote for or vote for me, so they were basically campaigning. And I also disappointed the Madam Secretary, announced that the useless Women Voters League or whatever gonna have also a political and the campaigning at the Torrance facility. And last time, Ms. Kalani told me they paid for the using the room, and they didn't. And you told me you guys voted for it. So I wanna know how much the League of Women Voters pays for the illegal activity.
Your time is up, sir. Okay. Anyone else from the public who wish to speak on this item?
Councilmember Sheikh, I apologize to you. Thank you for agreeing. And since they didn't say anything against the other people that were up here campaigning, I am going to say that I think we should vote for Nathan Hotchner against George Gascon and Steve Garvey against Adam Shifty Shiftless. And another thing is, why can't we have hard copies of the agenda out there? If we can afford money for gels that go over lights, we can afford to print out some agendas. And I still want to know who brought up the idea of switching all of this around, and I want to know who brought it up, and I want to know who voted for it and who voted against it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who wish to speak? Oral communications number 2. Okay, and then we'll bring it to the council. And Councilwoman Kalani, you are first tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. This last week, I experienced the staff of the city of Torrance and discovered Torrance, no pun intended, knock it out of the park with multiple events every single day. And I just understand how much work these events are, and I thank everybody very much. I'm grateful for your dedication to our city. One of those events, I just have to congratulate Downtown Torrance Association for the extremely successful scare down in downtown. Thousands of people were there. The streets were packed. Businesses were happy. People were happy, line dancing, and the kids were just having the best time. And that's what it's about, the family-oriented events in our city. Once again, my sincerest condolences to the Traparian family, and I just want to wish everybody a very good evening. Good night.
Thank you. Councilwoman Lewis.
Couldn't said it better. Scare down in downtown was absolutely amazing. And we want to wish a happy birthday to our city manager, Aram, which is tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Matucci.
Nothing tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Councilman Shape.
Nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Councilman Kaji.
Have a good evening.
Hope you feel better. Councilman Gerson.
I think everything's been said. Nothing more from me.
Okay. Well, thank you. I think Councilwoman Kalani has echoed. We some days, some weeks are more packed than others, and I think a lot of the community really don't know that there are other events we do during the week, not just council meetings. and a lot of us actually read the council staff reports before the council meeting and ask the questions of staff so that we can have a better discussion when we're up here. At the end of the day, we want to listen to the public so that at the end, we actually are the ones that are making the vote representing the people. As we conclude this evening's meeting, I want to thank you for your active participation and interest in staying informed. Your involvement continues to help shape Torrance and keep us moving forward. Thanks to City Cable for sharing our meetings live. In case you missed any portion of this meeting, you can find it archived online at torranceca.gov, YouTube, and Facebook. I'll take a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
I move that we adjourn tonight's meeting in the honor of Alan M. Schwartz until Tuesday, October 15th, 2024 at 5 p.m. for closed session in the Leroy J. Jackson Council Chambers.
Second.
Start voting, please. Your Honor, that motion carried unanimously.
Thank you, everyone. Our council meeting is done tonight, 8:13 p.m.